Every single creative industry, VaynerMedia, Hollywood, Madison Avenue, is going to be massively affected by AI. I think I'm going to make feature films on a computer. Avicii sat in the middle of Europe on his computer and changed the world. So that's what's going to happen. Sorry, Hollywood. Sorry, VaynerMedia and other ad agencies. It's changing. You're in trouble. Sorry. Just like the Yellow Pages salesman was in trouble. Just like the bookstores were in trouble. Just like the taxi drivers were in trouble. The whole game's about to change. The end.
One of your pieces of content really resonated with me. If you're going to your job Monday and aren't happy, what are you doing to change that? I've been applying to a bunch of positions, gotten the response like, you're overqualified. Why are you looking to make a change from a lawyer into this?
How many people have you asked?
I try to send out at least 50 daily on LinkedIn and Twitter messages. I've even emailed you and AJ and Tyler and Kranek and Jeremy.
And what are you looking to do in my company's world, for example?
How AI could be really useful in the VFriends and storytelling. And I have kind of made it a little mini passion project of writing, kind of going back to the OG days, writing little workplace warrior stories about how the different VFriends could represent actual, jobs and entrepreneurs, whether that be doctors, whatever, lawyers, for example.
Let me give you some insight. So for VFriends, because so much work has been put on the Canon era and the origin stories, it's a timing thing. We're in a place right now where the creative team is so locked into what we're doing and it's mapping the next 36 months that the value doesn't come in new ideas. But on the AI part, if you're actually learning how to use AI and sent examples of how you created things using AI with the creative, that might give you a leg up. I think that's what I can speak for us. And I would say AI is a great place for you to go all in on, because the next 24 months, everyone's going to be looking for AI people, AI knowledge, AI stuff. So what I would say to you is less ideas and more execution. I would get very deeply good at AI storytelling and then sending companies like us and others things you made so people can see it, and then bang.
Yeah, that's actually what I've been doing. I've been emailing the team stories that I've used AI as prompts.
That's not going to be enough. I would say, again, because that's grounded in ideas. Notice what I said earlier? The ideas part is not the interesting part. Only because we're stuck in this spot right now where we've spent 2 years and the last 6 months especially setting up the next 5 years of Canon. So it's just a timing thing. It doesn't, for many people that would be valuable. What we would be excited about would be creative output, like a 3-minute video. Taking what, if you made a 3-minute video taking what was in the last comic book or the next comic book and creating content, that gets on my radar.
I'd be remiss, real quick, before I left, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask for that big chinchilla plush. I'm always in there asking. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring it up.
I've promised the crew that the chinchilla that's here stays, but I can confirm a little bit of alpha here. There has been an overwhelming response to that chinchilla, and there is significant momentum on us producing it and making it available, so more to come on that. Every single creative industry, VaynerMedia, Hollywood, Madison Avenue, is going to be massively affected by AI because you can make incredible visuals for far less money without ever leaving the comforts of your home. The whole game's about to change. The end. I think I'm going to make feature films on a computer. And by the way, that's how music's made now, digitally, in a way that a lot of people don't feel great about. But nobody in Hollywood cared about the music people when they were disrupted by Napster and by being able to... Avicii sat in the fucking middle of Europe on his computer and changed the world. So that's what's going to fucking happen. Sorry, Hollywood. Sorry, VaynerMedia and other ad agencies. Shit's changing. And so if you're not fucking adjusting, I'm spending an enormous amount of mind time and strategy on what we're going to do about it. And what we're going to do about it is we're going to become great at it. And so the people that are creative and strategic are going to get most of the money, not the people that are lugging shit around. The person that's holding lighting, if your job is to hold a light, if you're a light man or woman, right? There's people that do that. You're in charge of the lighting. You're in trouble. Sorry. Just like the Yellow Pages salesman was in trouble. Just like the bookstores were in trouble. Just like the taxi drivers were in trouble. Just like the people that literally, Pablo, do you understand on this little island that you're sitting on right now, 110 years ago, a lot of people's job was to clean up horse shit. That was their job. We all got around on horses, and horses shit. Pablo, do you know that horses shit? And the shit was on the street. And do you know that people got paid to clean up the shit? When we went to cars, what the fuck do you think happened? Do you understand when we went to the telephone, instead of everything being a letter, that people that were part of the letter business, ink, paper, the delivery of letters. When we went to telephone, shit changed. We didn't cry for the letter people. We just marveled at having letters. Like, yes, shit's gonna change. So that's it, man. If you're in fucking Hollywood or Madison Avenue, start adjusting. The game's changing. Thank you, studio, for the raid. Let's do a big giveaway. We just had a big raid. Let me do this giveaway. Let's do this for all the sports fans. Either you like this and you're gonna rock it because it's rad as shit, or you don't like it and you're gonna get it for free and sell it for $40 on eBay.
Pretty good job, and I'm honest. I'm not complaining, but it's just I don't know. I don't enjoy it as much as I used to.
Well, change your job.
But like I don't know, it's just a really good paying job, and I don't know.
So suck it up. And get your joy elsewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've also I just reached out. I don't know, just the point where I'm just like I said in the text, I said I feel like I'm burnt out. I just feel unmotivated.
Well, then quit. You're a grown-ass man, my man.
Yeah.
This is called life. Ain't nobody gonna fucking hear you're complaining that's gonna be productive. You're fucking strong. You're fucking capable. You're allowed to quit, try some other shit, fail at it, and then go get a job that's similar or the same job with your tail between your legs, and it's all good. That's not failure. Actually, that's strength. You quitting and trying to make yourself happier and then losing and then going back to a job, I admire that. What I don't admire is dwelling. Action, my guy. Either take the action of sucking it the fuck up, like we all do in many parts of our life. I don't do it in my job, I do it in other places, and fucking get your joy elsewhere, or have the courage to chase a dream and get the fuck out. And then don't be scared of losing, because if you lose in whatever the fuck your alternative is, you go back and get a job. That's called a real man. You're a real man. Big shout out to Bach Krug, I think. Bach Krug with the win. It's so funny. Meowie says in the chat, brother, you're 50, shut up. It's so funny. 50's the people that should be talking. What's that?
The person that just won,
yeah.
Barbara, she works on the team.
That's awesome. You know what I mean, Charlie?
Yes, sir, I do.
So what do you think you want to do? Or what do you think you want to do?
It's probably good. That's her Instagram handle. I think it is.
Honestly, the job I have now is I got really good at it, and I've risen up. I'm not a manager, but I'm like I rose into the top the lead, basically the lead tech in my company.
Okay.
But I feel like I'm just working. It's just a repeated cycle of just working a 9 to 5, and there's almost no freedom for me at all. Like no.
There's tons of freedom. 9 to 5. Do you work 9 to 5? Is that the actual hours?
It's 12 hours. 12 hours. For 4 days. But then I just you know what I think is happening? I think you just might be too talented. You're not challenged enough. I think you secretly know you've got more in you and can do more, but you're scared of that. I think you're listening to conservative people too much. I think you're ready to jump, and I think everyone around you is telling you not to because you got a good situation. But I just think you're more talented than everybody that you're listening to.
Think about this. Everyone who's telling you to stay in your job, and then you've got me telling you to quit your job and go. Of those people, who's more successful? Me or your fucking relatives that are telling you to stay in the fucking job?
You.
Good. Always judge who's giving you advice. It's the number one rule in life. Judge the judgers. All the people that are judging you, judge them back. So when your auntie says, what are you talking about? You have a great paying job. Be like, auntie, I don't want your life. Charlie, who you living for? You or someone else?
I know the answer is for me, but I don't know. I grew up in a home where it was just me, my mother, and my brother, and because at a young, I wasn't even that young. I was like 11 years old, and so my father left us, and I had to step up and become support for my mother.
Yeah, I get it, bro. I admire the shit out of you. Both my parents lost a parent. I was the financial foundation of my family as a young dude. I get it. Guess what? It's not your fault that you ended up being more talented than what you're doing right now. It's a blessing. You need to walk into your destiny. And if you fail, brother, let me promise you one thing now that I've chopped it up with you a little bit. If you go fail at the thing that you're trying to do that's bigger than what you're doing now, what you're doing now will take you back in open arms, whether it's this company or something like this company. Let me promise you that, my fucking guy. Bro, you're fucking bored.
Yeah.
No shit. You're fucking bored, my dude. You're too talented for what the fuck you're doing. Quit and do something bigger. And if you lose, go back to this. At least you knew you tried. You won't regret. Go jump, bro. You're bigger than your job. You're gonna do better. And don't worry about everybody who boos you, and tell your mom or your brother or anybody else that says, what the fuck are you doing? GaryVee's wrong. Tell them from GaryVee, fuck you.
We just started a podcast talking about like our bond as twins, and no one can really understand that. So how can we kind of like podcast and get it out there? We're probably on episode like 20 to 30. We have someone like producing it for us and everything like that. But we're just trying to grow it like as quick as we can and get as many like twin guests on, and share all of our interesting information that not many people know about twins.
So I think one issue is that you said the word quick.
Okay.
That is killing kids.
Yeah.
Like, all of you want it too fast. Victoria, Anna, I worked in a liquor store from 22 to 34. Quick was the tell.
No, I get that.
Quick was the tell in your question.
Yeah.
You know my answer is going to be, you already know what my answer is going to be if you're on this show. You need to make a fuckload of social media content to bring awareness to your podcast.
Yeah, we did the video for like the A to Z thing through all of our contacts.
I love that. I love that. But how much content are you putting out on social every day?
At least once a day.
Good.
Like religiously, at least once a day.
Which platform?
TikTok, Instagram, and then our YouTubes are like a little bit of the shorts, and then like obviously our podcast.
And what about Twitter? And what about Facebook?
Facebook and Twitter, no.
I want you to add that.
Okay.
I want you to post what you're posting on TikTok on Snapchat Spotlight.
Okay.
I want you to post 2 times a day on all those platforms.
Got it.
And I want you to close all 4 of your eyes and wake up in 5 years after doing it, and then judge if it's working or not.
I'm currently unemployed, took a chance on making more money in the state of Minnesota. I left my cook job and also my family back in Texas for a chance to give them a better life. I've been here a week already and I feel homesick. Did I make a mistake? And better yet, how have you handled transition periods in your life?
It sounds like he's just starting. I've handled transition periods by not judging transition periods in the first week. I judge transition periods in multiple years, not in multiple days. So I would say that I handle it by deploying patience. And I don't think he's made a mistake. I think he's jumping too quick.
My life kind of got flipped upside down a few months ago, going through a separation right now, 3 kids. And I currently work full-time job at an ad agency in New York City, remote. But I'm also building out my own agency. I've been doing it for the last 6 years. And I guess my question is, right now I'm in a tough spot because I'm I'm going through custody situations, but while I want more time with my kids, my full-time job isn't enough to support financially, so I do need extra, which is no problem. I've been working 7 days a week all day for years. Like, I have no problem putting in the work, but it's getting to the point where it's a hard decision. Where do I fight for more time with my kids now and work my face off and figure it out financially, or do I agree to the minimal time now and build it up and then fight for more time with them later? I know it's like not looking for legal advice or anything.
No, I understand, Mike. Listen, I have a lot of compassion and empathy for you. This is obviously a challenging chapter in your life. Here's the good news. First, I think you can find some solace in this. I really am fascinated by kids and parents and all that stuff. I spent a lot of time on it in the last 20 years. Is first and foremost, just please focus deeply that your children know that you love them and you're always there for them. You're lucky. We live in a world where FaceTime and all this other stuff, as you can imagine, there's no quote unquote right answer. I think that the struggle between financial realities and family realities is very real. And even for people that are not in a divorce and custody situation, people struggle with this. I would say focus on a couple things. One, realizing the only right answer is that those children know that their dad is there for them constantly and always in any situation, and that you love the living shit out of them. That is the only right answer, right? I think you definitely want to fight for as much time as you personally think you can go for. Meaning, I think there's potentially an in-between from the way you structured it. There's probably an in-between from the most minimum amount of time with them, but also an in-between from like you leaving a little bit on the table from the work stuff and the kid stuff. So it's kind of finding purple instead of red or blue.
Right.
Instead of it being black or white, fight the gray. So whatever you're feeling right now, whatever the bare minimum is, like 20 to 50% more than that, based on your situation, is probably quote unquote a good place to try to target. And then in the time that you're not with them, that you're upset that you can't be 50-50 or as much as possible, over-indexing on them feeling your presence. And here's a big one, dominating when you're actually with them. Right, like being yeah, exactly. And honestly, not beating yourself up. Here's what will happen. There'll be a time where you're with them and work's on fire, and there's a problem or some other problem where you're not at your best self because you had a tough day or a tough argument with their mom or who knows, right? If you have a bad weekend or a bad time with them, like you didn't feel as present as you wanted to be, not beating yourself up and knowing you have the next time with them to make up for it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
You understand? Being kind to yourself.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, man. That helps a lot. And just appreciate everything you do. You've been a big help for me and a beacon for years, man. Just really appreciate it.
I'm really cheering for you. And brother, there's some real light and gold at the end of this tunnel. I promise you, as tough as this is, in context, there'll be a lot of good things that come out of this, even though this is painful. And I really believe you're going to get to the other side in a good way, brother.
Thank you. I feel it and I can see it myself. Thank you.
You're welcome, brother. Take care. By realizing that if you don't, it's probably not going to go well. And so really this becomes a game of knowing you have no choice and not, again, similar to the gentleman before. Here's my number one thing right now that I'm hot on is being your number one fan versus being your number one critic. Like when she says that, it's likely her next 4 job interviews are not going to go well. She has it in her. Right? Like, for example, again, I'm bringing up yesterday, for all the people that were watching basketball yesterday. When I lose, my chemicals go weird. I know that, me just, leaving the game and not doing the Astro shirt, that was not, the right thing. But I'm not going to sit today and be like, I'm a piece of shit, even though, some of the Be Friends community is like, that was fucked up, Gary. You know what I mean? I had a bad moment. And everyone's allowed to. And so, she's allowed to have shitty interviews. And the more she's not upset at herself for the next shitty interview, the more likely her next interview will be good. Right? I need people to really understand this. How does she address this? Is when I do my most pressure... I gave an NYU commencement speech, as you know. A lot of people saw that video. I did not prep for it at all. And right before I went on, I go, man, is this the right thing not to prep for, even though I never prep? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this could go really bad, or this could go well. But the reason it went so well, I believe, is because if I fucking bombed and it was terrible, I'd be fine. And again, I think the thing that's fucking up so many people right now is they're not their number one fan. You gotta be your number one fan. You can't beat yourself up. Like, for example, I'm looking at all these people on TikTok and Instagram right now, right? Grego, Jacko, Samachi, Wolftang, High Chase Gray. I need all of them to be on Whatnot. I need them all to be on Whatnot. I hate them all right now. I'm angry at everybody on all my socials that have not come over here. But they shouldn't be mad. They shouldn't be sad that I am mad at them. They need to be insular. They need to be insular. You must be insular. What's her name again?
Hannah.
Hannah, the way that you can deliver on big moments is by already deciding that you lost. The one place in my life, personally and professionally, emotionally, everything in my life, I decided I've already lost. VeeFriends failed, Vayner failed, I failed. I've decided it. I have felt the feelings. The only place in my life that I have decided I haven't lost yet is when I compete in sports. You guys have seen me when things don't go well. I'm like easy, big shit. Lost $10 million account, non-event. Lose a stinking pickup game last night, 4 games to love. Dead.
I have 3, about to be 4 rental properties, and I'm working on a flip with some partners. I don't want to get another full-time job. I want to do full-time real estate on my own, doing my own thing.
Love it.
I just don't know what exactly that means and what I can do to do that.
It sounds like you're doing that.
A little bit. The issue is I don't have what I have now doesn't take up 40 hours of my week. I can do it in 5 to 10, and I still want to do more. I just don't know what that is.
Why don't you do more of what you're doing?
Well, I guess some of it is a money thing. To buy the rentals, I have to have a little bit of money, so I'm trying to figure out where to find the income to do that.
Well, what about getting a job that is more in line with what you're interested in? So one of the things I think about is when you're a young kid like you wanting to get into a business, there's a ton of shit you don't know about this business.
Right.
Even if you got an entry-level job at a company that does what you do at way bigger scale, you'll be learning there. You see where I'm going?
For sure, yeah, absolutely.
So one of the options for you and everybody who's listening is to take jobs in companies that do what you're wanting to do it at a much bigger scale, right? And so, because you'll learn. And so I think one of the options for you, brother, is to go and get a job at a real estate company that does what you're doing at a much bigger level.
Yeah.
So that you can learn while you're there for a little while.
I see.
You see where I'm going?
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have thought about that before. I guess the job market is a hard thing, to get into one of those things.
Yeah, but
I've tried to get into them. It's tough to do that.
But again, if you decide to do it smaller, like again, it sounds like you want to do this entrepreneurial thing.
Absolutely.
Are you willing to live humbly in this part of your early life?
I do now. I live in, me and my wife live in a 1-room apartment that's part of one of the houses we are renting.
Smart.
So she's a teacher. All our expenses are covered, so I can kind of take
it sounds like
time to do whatever. I could try to build something.
Bro, you could
be a realtor or something like that.
Bro, you could you could also be the assistant or the greeter in a company that does what you want to do at a larger scale and get paid minimum wage.
Right.
You see where I'm going? Like the job market's hard when you try to get jobs that are bigger than you. You know how many people are doing that right now? Everyone's like, the job market's hard. I dig in and double click and I look, and the person's trying to get a job that is way overqualified for them. The job market's hard when you don't have humility. But I'm for sure a believer that you could get an entry-level job in a real estate firm that does flipping at scale.
Right.
You see where I'm going, Ty?
Yeah, absolutely.
That. And if that's not it, get a job at a marketing firm that does personal branding as an assistant or a greeter or an entry-level employee so that you can learn how to do content and marketing so you can use content and marketing for yourself to get deals and opportunities.
I see.
You see where I'm going? Go work at somewhere that will teach you a skill that you want for yourself based on what you want to do, even if it's an entry-level job.
I work as the plant manager for a small family-owned manufacturing company. We have a maintenance technician that reports directly to me. He recently went through a workers' comp case and has created quite the headache for our HR department, lawyering up and threatening legal action. His work ethic and skills are phenomenal, and I don't want to lose him, but he has been a very emotional, dramatic employee. As an owner, would you allow someone like this to stay?
When someone justifies bad behavior, and by the way, I don't know if this lawyering up, like that employee might be right. So on the record, I have no idea if he's right. I'm not worried about the lawyering up. I'm worried about the way the question was asked. So many people look the other way on employees that are emotional issues, distractions, cancers, bring negativity, cause problems, fuck the machine up because they're good at their job. It is a massive mistake. Now, you want to give effort and you want to try to build that person up. You want to explain to them that. You want to mentor them. You don't want to just like first time, there's 3 strikes in baseball. In life, you got to give people more grace than one. But, when there's consistency in that, emotional shortcomings in the workplace are often mapped with emotional shortcomings outside the workplace, and they're hard to change sometimes. And people do grow up, people do become more accountable, people do get better, people get less insecure, less territorial. But I never have ever kept anybody in a company because of their skill set. I've kept them in the company because I felt like we could give them one more chance. I root for them. That's fine. But justifying keeping someone in the company because they're good at their job when they are an issue to the system is why the most talented sports teams don't win championships.
I've been on a roller coaster since I lost my mom 5 years ago. She was my friend and number one supporter. Now I'm being pressured by family to work a 40-hour-a-week job that I don't like doing. I know my flaws are that I give up easily, but I'm really trying to finish school and figure out what to do. Any advice on keeping up my motivation, not giving up, or knowing what I really love to do?
This is a little tough because when I hear that, especially with all due respect to the devastation of losing a parent, when I hear the other family members pushing for a 40-year-old job and I hear I do give up and all that stuff, what I'm concerned about is that mom was the enabler. And that's tough to say because mom's not with us, and like I struggled. I think everybody knows I go pretty candorous here. On the record, that was hard to say out loud. That was a challenge for me, but I really want this person to be accountable and ask themselves. A lot of people think your biggest supporter is a supporter, but the actual reality is that your biggest supporter oftentimes is your biggest enabler, not supporter. A supporter is going to hold you accountable. I would say that you never want to give up on dreams and passion, but that line in the question of like, I know I give up easy, and like the moms and dads are almost always the enablers. And it's so tough. Like there's such a fine line between being an enabler and being a supporter. But that's what I would ask this person, to be self-reflective and find out. Finishing school sounds like that's been dragging on. Sounds like the person doesn't want to do anything. You know what I mean? Worried about that.